tear ourselves away from portable coordinate metrology for a few moments, because the location of this year's show presented us with an irresistible opportunity. Now, Dirk, as I might have mentioned once or twice before,
we're in New Orleans.
We're here in the Big Easy.
There we go.
Yes, we are. And as it happens, one of our regular columnists is a Cajun by way of Scotland.
Cajun in training, I like
a CIT. Paul Naysmith. This is Paul Naysmith right here in the living flesh.
Yes.
Paul was kind enough to come over and visit. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Paul to the show.
Well,
Paul and Dodge Live. Thank you, Paul, for joining us.
It's nice to meet you in the flesh.
That's right.
Can you translate that?
Into Americanese?
Yeah, Americanese. Give your best Cajun.
I can't do that because it's really quite insulting. However, I find myself sometimes using a yawl at the end of my sentences.
Wow.
But you can't have two yawls in one sentence, either opens or ends with the yawl. Never two in the same.
Wow. A brogy yawl.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, you know, Paul, your latest article, What the Heck is an Audit?
Yeah, what the heck is an audit?
It was in Wednesday's issue, Quality Dodge Live.
Yep.
So my question to you really is, how the heck do you think your topics? How do you come up with these ideas?
Well, what I do is I've got a little bowl of ideas, and I've trained a chaffinch to go in there with his little beak and pick them up. Whatever really inspires me and catches me, I get bored quite quickly, and I get quite frustrated with things. And sometimes I see a bit of humor in the business world around me, or if I read something, it kind of inspires me. And I like to have fun, as you guys know, and I really enjoy writing. And I thought, well, why don't we just have fun and do all this? So that's how I come up with my topics or my subjects.
Well, they're always good. I mean, they're very well read. Our audience out there loves Paul, of course.
So what the heck is an audit?
You know, I have no idea. That's the whole reason why I wrote this article. No, I've been finding myself throughout my quality career when it comes to audits. Everyone's petrified of this thing called an audit. They're fearful to have this thing called an NCR. And I keep finding I repeat myself over and over again to explain what an audit is. And I was thinking to myself one day preparing for an audit, a long and distant conversation I had with a previous colleague, and I thought, well, it might be an opportunity to put my perspective on what my view of an audit is on paper, because everyone hears this thing called, the auditors are coming and we'll have to audit that.
And they get all terrified.
They get all terrified, or they get the glazed look in the eye like, oh, really? He's talking about an audit. It's time to go to sleep. But I just wanted to get my flavor on thing, and I've got a very simplistic, childlike view of the world, and I wanted to maybe put that down on paper, so maybe a similar quality professional in a similar situation, if they ever get asked, they might want to use that. That's the only thinking behind that. And plus, I've got a humorous little story in there as well that I share.
See, I have a question for you now. Okay, you bill yourself as a quality punk and an improvement ninja.
That's right, I do.
So which of those personas best serves you during an audit?
You know what, both. Quality punk. I wrote an article many months ago about quality philosophies and ideas, and I kind of thought I'd be a bit edgy and say that all these brilliant industrialists and management philosophers were punks. I wanted to make a statement that they thought a bit different, and it kind of suited my mood at the time. Right? And then at the same time, I thought, well, I'm this thing called a Lean Six Sigma black belt. I really don't like the term Six Sigma. Why is there six and what's the Sigma thing? And if I say to myself I'm an improvement ninja, I go, wow, that sounds cool and fun. So that's the only reason why I do these things. But when an auditor comes and asks me, he never knows. I don't think the auditors that visit me ever read Quality Digest, which is a shame. By the time they finish with me, they're now subscribers.
Way to go. Way to go.
You know, by the way, with your punk background, I want to thank you for taking the safety pin out of your ear before you came on the show.
Yeah,
I
appreciate that.
It was attached to my navel.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, thank you for taking that out too.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
So what do auditors think of you when they come in and here's this guy who's pretty probably irreverent towards them, maybe?
Well, I'm not irreverent. I challenge them.
Okay.
I'll get them in and they'll do their wonderful opening speech and they'll say, this is the scope, and I'll go, okay, stop. You're here to improve my business. It's consultancy in my view.
Okay. Let's talk about. Let's seriously here a little bit. I mean, we ran an article a week or two ago. One of our ISO 9000 consultants, and basically kind of touched on that. It's like, you don't have to fear an auditor. I mean, they're there to do you a service, and by the way, they do kind of work for you, in a sense. And if you don't trust what they're saying, or if you think they're wrong, I mean, there's no reason why you can't call them on it? I mean,
Or call their boss and say, hey, I need a different audit.
Yeah, for some crazy reason, we put these auditors on such a pedestal. Because they have this auditor title, everyone might treat them as some kind of expert or overseer, but all they're doing is just comparing what you have against a standard or specification. And in many ways, the auditors I've experienced, they don't actually understand my business. They don't understand my customer in the way that I do. So most of the time I will spend educating what we do and say, well, this is what our customer expects, this is how we interpret that requirement, this is how we deliver it. And it's really the customer that's important to me. And in the article I do touch upon customer audits. I really welcome customer audits. I always have an open door policy for my customers. So I'd rather have 10 findings in audit from a customer than one customer complaint. To me, that is just ideal for me.
Yes.
Okay, we have to do work and improve, but I just love when my customer says, well, this is our requirements.
Right.
You're not meeting them in this way. This is a free solution for you. I love it. It's wonderful.
It's the way it should work, really.
The way it should work.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's touch back on Six Sigma for a minute. You read an article that was really popular a few months back where you talked about Six Sigma, the training you went through to get all these 100 tools of Six Sigma, which you use 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you use... It's a constant argument we have on amongst our users of the value of Six Sigma. Is it really something that needs to be pushed down to the rank and file, or should it be kind of an upper echelon tool that's only used by statisticians? What do you think about that?
Okay, you've proposed a quite complex question there, but in my view, it's all down to the fit and the suit for the business that you're in. Six Sigma is a great catch-all term for improvement. And different businesses will have different levels of maturity. Some businesses will be very data rich, and that's where the statistical analysis will be wonderful. You can use it there, and you can do a really good job. However, some businesses might not be ready for that data collection. They just need to become more streamlined. So then there's the kind of the basis of making the improvement and getting the measurements in place to help you along the way. So it depends on your maturity of business. I think any business should go through the plan, do, check, act cycle from coming to assessing their needs for training and improvement they should have. But I have to say that when I wrote that article, I was kind of making the point that I got all these wonderful tools and techniques that I don't use. Am I failing in some way? But no, it's actually because maybe the business that I'm in is not ready for these tools. I've got them, they're in my tool shop, my man cave, but I'm not needing them just yet. So, but no, it's great. I love improvement and I love quality. So it's a joyful thing when you do it as your job or your career.
So what brought you here? What brought you to Louisiana from Scotland?
That's a really good question. I was working and living in Scotland, and I worked for a company called Expro. They're in the oil and gas industry. I've been with them for about 4 years by that point, and an opportunity came up within our Gulf of Mexico operations, and we're based here in southern Louisiana, a place called Broussard. The opportunity came up, and I applied for it, and the team knew me, and they've worked with me in the past, and they said, well, yeah, of course, please we'll accept your application, and you'll have to go through the interview process like all the other candidates. And I said, sure. And fortunately, I was a successful candidate, and the company I work for have been superb. They relocated my family and I, our house, over here, and it's been
Actually
great.
moved the entire house?
Well,
it's amazing.
Just the contents, Dirk.
I don't know, man. Like a little Scottish castle.
I want to read my contract.
It's like
I want
brick
the
by brick by
I
brick.
want the window frames, and I want to put it back in the same
Come on,
place.
Expro, they got money, right? They can do that.
They're a very good company. They're doing very well, and we've got.
And what do you do for them?
I am the health, safety, environmental, and quality manager for their North America offshore operations, mainly predominantly here in the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico has gone through a lot of changes in the past few years, which has been very high profile. And what I can bring is my understanding of the different requirements from other parts of the organisation, and my improvement philosophies and ideas, and help bring the business to another level.
After the Gulf oil spill, did you find that, or did Expro find that there was a lot more interest in bringing on people as yourself as consultants, or to help look at the quality and safety aspect? I mean, was that
the whole focus as I saw it and observed within the oil industry was more safety.
Okay.
It was seen as a safety event. Now, I maybe view safety as a quality element of your business, but that's my point of view. However, the investigations that were performed both by all the various parties and the government agencies were actually very powerful investigations. And when you look through it, all the kind of traditional quality thinking was missed out. The prevention measures, the checks and balances, the controls. So as the industry is starting to recover and the global economy started to use hydrocarbons again, there is actually a big skills gap within the oil and gas business. Engineers just now.
Sure.
There's not enough engineers in the planet.
Right.
And engineering is a big thing. Quality professionals, there's not enough quality professionals out there right now, and it's a great career for anyone out there to get into. I love it. I'm very passionate for it. I'm sad to see that there's not enough more young people coming into the business, and maybe in the future that'll change. The older generation of the baby boomers that lived through the quality evolution in the 1980s and early 90s, they're all now starting to retire, and there's a big skills gap and knowledge gap, and that concerns me. And it concerns me because I think we're going to pretty much go through the same learning curve that we went through in the 1970s and 80s, which is such wasted effort. But for the oil business, things are looking good. Things are getting a lot better, a lot safer. The statistics, the oil business is a lot of statistics. It's getting better all the time, safer, more environmentally conscious. It's excellent.